I've always been allured by assassin characters. I don't know whether it's their moral complexity or their intelligence and skill, or maybe it's just because they look incredibly badass, but rogues and assassins have always been the characters that I love playing in video games. Ezio Auditore, Altair, Corvo Attano, Agent 47. All of them give me the ability to step into the shoes of someone so skilled, so talented at the art of the kill, that some people would consider them to be something other than human. A ghost, a demon, or a shadow. I knew the protagonist of Outlaw's Vengeance was going to follow in the footsteps of these iconic protagonists. After all, it's a game about stealth, parkour, and silent assassinations. A game that you beautiful people can wishlist right now. So it does make sense that our character does follow in the footsteps of the people that came before. These characters that inspired this game. So when I first started ideating and thinking about what this assassin cowboy could look like, I knew that I wanted to blend in elements from all these different characters to create someone that even standing still looks like he knows what it's like to take another person's life. And that's why slowly, through a lot of writing and testing, I found Silas Ridge. Silas was born and raised in Legios, an old military state within the continent of Eruditus. From an early age, he trained and aspired to be an Octari, a type of political assassin charged with carrying out targeted assassinations of high-ranking leaders and influential people across the entire continent. And they do this to ensure the balance of power always tips in the favor of one country, the most powerful and most important country within the continent of Eruditus, the name of which I actually haven't come up with yet. He now lives in New Aurelia, which is the colony in which the game takes place. I go more into depth about his entire backstory in my weekly newsletter, where I send you lore entries on the world of Outlaw's Vengeance. So if you're a lore buff and you want to learn about the entire backstory and the world building of this game, you can sign up to that using the link that's directly below the wishlist link. So, Silas used to work for the same faction that he's now trying to kill, the Erudites. And like any assassin character, he's not quite right in the head. One thing I've always thought was weird about video game protagonists is how sane and charming they always were, especially people like Ezio Auditore, even though they took lives of hundreds of human beings a day rather casually. Silas is someone who will slowly become the person that you make him, since I know players like to press the stealth kill button any chance that they get. But how could we design and give birth to a man that's so comfortable with death? How could we create a character whose sole purpose is so inhumane? Well, we decided to give him a mask, an item that creates distance between him and the world and dehumanizes him. This is the official art of Silas Ridge. I'll show you the 3D model once I drag in my beautiful girlfriend Sophie to talk about this, but for now you have to understand that this character was designed with intention and with purpose to be someone who is comfortable with one thing: violence.
What is the purpose of this video?
The purpose of this video is to communicate to you, dear viewer, who the protagonist of this game is. This is the birth of a new parentheses anti, close parentheses hero. This is very subtle foreshadowing that he might not be the most morally upstanding person. I have on my phone the first inklings of what this character will look like. And I also have a name.
But let's preface this by also discussing that we did have a bunch of different names. The first thing we're starting out with is not the back history of the character or the important details. It's just what is his name.
Yes, because branding is everything. So before we delved into the backstory, which I have developed since, and I'll talk about it now, we came up with a few names first before we landed on this one. And if you're watching this video and you disagree and you don't think that the final name we agreed on is the best, feel free to comment and share how much we fucked up. What's the name that you remember?
The one I remember is Apollo. And my issue with this name, which is very cool, inspired from the god himself, is that it's a dog name. If your name is Apollo, I'm sorry, but it's a dog name.
I think Apollo is a badass name for some fucking guy who has a 10-pack and a jawline that could cut through glass. That's kind of the vibes I get. Because it's named after a Greek god. That's fucking sick. But anyways, the first original name was Apollo Ridge. And I thought it was great. The fucking plosives.
Sounds good.
The phonetic sound, it just rolls off your tongue. So we're keeping Apollo Ridge, but that's for his brother, who you won't hear about in the entire game. But it's fine. He does have a brother and he's called Apollo. But we landed on a, in my opinion, better name for this character. And that was Silas.
Do you remember how we landed on that?
I was reading a book. I know. Shocking. It was based on the history of Julius Caesar, the story of his youth. Because it's written in Spanish, one of the big characters in Caesar's life early on was the dictator called Sulla in English. But in Spanish, he's called Sila, S-I-L-A.
Oh, that's so true.
And
okay,
thematically, I think that there's a lot of things that characterize Sila in terms of ambition leading to corruption that I really wanted Silas to have.
So this is a dictator.
Yes, but Silas isn't.
Right, yeah.
But there are some things thematically that link together. But Sulla was, I think, the first dictator in Rome. He wasn't a nice guy. I'm not trying to make him inspired by this character, but definitely echo that. We are on a very low budget, and this is a very indie game. we
very indie game.
Very indie game. Like you have indie and then you have very indie. No, because like Clair Obscure Expedition 33 was just released.
That does not qualify as an indie game.
People fucking call it an indie game. I'm like, my
Dude,
guy.
Then what is an actual game?
That's the question everyone's asking, because AAA games look worse than that. Point being, because our budget is limited, we want to make sure we have money to work with concept artists, but we don't have money to waste with concept artists, which is why we want to use AI to first mood board ideas, prompt based on the narratives and the world building and the story that I'm building in my head, until we have an image that actually makes us feel something, and from there we can take it to a concept artist and kind of work out. Here's the first image that we kind of landed on, where we were like, this is something, but we still weren't that convinced.
Yeah, I think that it's very generic. It doesn't give main character.
Not good enough.
Not
for like
good
a
enough.
protagonist that's supposed to be a badass assassin.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So we went on and on.
Okay, this was good. Definitely like a much clearer version.
Yeah, he looks like he knows what's going on. The silhouette of the hat and the mask and the way it kind of creates this beaked presence without having to wear a hood like most assassins do. It's something that I really want in the character, to make sure you have that cowboy aesthetic while still communicating this is an assassin. We were really impressed by that concept art, so we decided to go to a talented human being and ask him to create the first ever official concept art of Silas Ridge. This here is it, and I think that the gothic style that he draws with, which is what attracted me to him in the first place, is fantastic.
So now is where incredible talent and luck comes in, because this is the 3D model.
Though normally you want to build the environment first and then the characters, we decided to make a mistake and do the character first.
Every time that we talked about what the art was going to look like, and whenever he would tell me about it, he was like, I don't know, because I know that it has to be stylized, because otherwise I don't have the budget for it.
Yes.
And what happened?
We went realistic. If I had, since my birth, made my birthday wish to meet the perfect 3D artist for 24 years, sadly, I would still not be as lucky if they all came true as I was to find this 3D artist. That's how good this 3D artist is. I gave him this concept art and I said, hey, what's up? No, we don't have a game. We have some very bare bones parkour, which you'll see in the next video.
All we had was like a blank box with a guy running around.
That's all we have right now. He just does a little more than running around, but we literally had like the most bare bones locomotion system in the world.
But for us, it was like, oh my god, like this is crazy.
I was very excited with looking at this orange man run around. And when we finally created the 3D model for Silas, and it was Silas running around, that's when shit got real. So this is, I shit you not, this is officially the birth of Silas Ridge. What's so funny?
I don't know the way you're saying it is very funny.
You don't like Silas Ridge being born?
I love it. I love it. Happy birthday. We don't know at this point if it's going to change or if it's going to be modified, but this is the first thing this guy came up with.
Cooking straight out the gate, bro.
It's insane.
Insane. Stunning model, visually beautiful, like it just looks like a AAA quality character. Full disclaimer, we have no technical ability whatsoever. Right now we have this amazing character artist and a insanely talented programmer who is essentially Jesus in most ways. We had a dream, we're like, let's just put all our money into this.
But also the good thing is that if you're seeing this, if this video is seeing the light of day, something was accomplished.
There have been mild advancements in the project. Wishlist, sign up to the newsletter if you want lore updates every week.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks so much for watching. There will be a video on screen, so make sure to watch that.